feeling about drawing Lewis structures? Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to put your thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs in the middle for how are we feeling about drawing Lewis structures. Okay, most of us are either up or in the middle. There's a few down. You're kind of in the middle. Okay, so obviously we will have a little bit of time today towards the end for you to practice a little bit more if you want to. Okay, but in the meantime, we're actually going to start unit 4. So you get to come over. Sorry, your question first? No, nobody had a question. Never mind. We have an answer. We have, if you do not yet have a yellow periodic table, you will want a yellow periodic table. And there's one more thing, which I don't know why I didn't see there. Common polyatomic ions, and at the bottom it says FMD, which means this is the full meal deal. It has everything related to polyatomic ions. Okay, so that will also be here. So 3 or 4 things to pick up depending on whether you need the periodic table. Come help yourselves. Okay. So I apparently totally forgot to print this thing into OneNote. I don't know how I managed to not do that, but it's okay. We got time. I'll just print the whole thing. It's all good, right? Okay. So here we go, 2022. No numbers, no numbers. I want no organic. There. So, first thing you need to know about this unit is, I was looking for. We're good? This thing here is going to be your friend. This. Now, I'm putting it back here because my desk is an utter mess right now. Maybe once I get it cleared off, I will put it up there. But this section is made up of tons of tiny quizzes. Okay? And I've learned that you guys have never used a card catalog, so you don't, or a file cabinet, or anything like that, so you don't know how to use these. If I am looking for quiz number 1A, I'm going to look behind the thing that says 1A, not in front of it, but behind it. And if I'm looking for quiz 2D, I'm going to go to 2D and I'm going to pull it forward and go in behind to find quiz 2D. Okay? And the reason I'm telling you this is because these quizzes are going to be self-served. Okay? you can go through, and yes, they're going to sit there the whole time. So if you wanted to, get them to cheat, that would be a thing that you could do. But remember how much your quizzes were? Quizzes are worth 10%, and tests are worth 70 or 75%. I can't remember which one. Anyway, a lot. And the test is not back there. Okay. I did have a student in grade 9 last year who decided, because I do the same system with them, who decided that they were just going to cheat on the whole thing. And they were like, oh, I've done so well on all the quizzes. And then they got to the test and they got 20% on the test. Okay, because they just cheated their way through all the quizzes. And so they did really badly and they almost failed the term. So don't do that. There's 4 to 5 versions of every quiz. So you are looking for mastery. Okay. Quiz number 1 is like the easiest quiz in the world. So if you don't all get like 6 out of 6, like there's going to be a problem. Yes? Okay. Let me just print this to OneNote. Print. What? You don't use them for practice. You actually hand them in to me and I mark them and I give them back. But it happens like real time. So it's happening during the class. It's also self-directed to a certain extent. Okay? So if you are a massive procrastinator, you will fall behind and you will not be ready for the test. Okay? Because the test will happen and it will have all of the quizzes on it. If you only made it to quiz 8 and there's quizzes like 9, 10, 11 that you haven't done, then too bad, so sad, so sorry for you. Yes? There's 11 quizzes. There are 6 questions on every quiz. They should take you a very short amount of time. Black diamonds should be organic and they are not needed for the test. Okay? Yes. Just 1 second, I have to make this normal again. I need this to go to size. There we go. Okay. Print. There we go. Yes. You do your work. Yep. You write it. You bring it here. I mark it. I give it back to you. If you don't get 6 out of 6, you can either redo it or not redo it as you choose. Like sometimes people are like, you know what, I'm doing a million of these quizzes. If I get 5 out of 6, but I understand what I did wrong, it really doesn't bother me. You still do it in class. It's not open book. Absolutely not open book. What? Okay, so all you do is when you take the quiz, you, of your own accord, because you're a big kid now and you can do this, you take your books and you put them aside and you don't look at anybody else's stuff and you just do your own work for that quiz and then you come and you hand it in and you see what you know, right? Theoretically, you learned all of this back in grade 9 and 10, right? So in theory, perhaps if you remember it all, you could get 6 out of 6 on almost all the quizzes except for like 9, 10, 11, which are kind of new, right now. Okay, and then you could be like, oh, I'm ready for the organic, please give me the extra stuff. All right, so some people will be in that position where they're like whipping through it because they just remember everything. Some people will be like, I don't remember ever learning this in Science 9 or 10, and so I will walk through with you some of the stuff, okay? It's not just self-study, like I'll go through the first little part of the lesson with you, okay? But if you want to work ahead, because you're like, okay, class is working on quiz number 3, I'm done quiz number 3 and I'm bored, you can keep working ahead. Take your learning into your own hands. Don't fall behind or you're screwed. I will help remind you if you're falling behind. I will be putting your name on the board, like so-and-so needs to do these quizzes. You know, quiz number 3, these are the people who haven't written it, that kind of thing. Okay? You don't want to be on the board.
really, unless you're away, of course, right? If you're away, then you got to get caught up. Homework is, I mean, I will, what I'll be doing is I'll sort of be like, this is where you should get to minimally. You know what I mean? Right. And you can take it further and you can be like, oh, you know what? I would like to finish this ahead of time because I would like to learn organic chemistry because in university there's going to be some organic chemistry and otherwise I'm never going to learn any, right? So, yeah. So, are we good? All right. So, first things first, because I didn't print this ahead of time, we get to see this ugly version of the periodic table. Let's see if I have a better one. Data page, there we go. We have our periodic table, and there is nothing because I haven't turned on the printer. That's exciting. It is, it's really thin. It's not, like there's not a lot of content per se. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about this is that this periodic table tells you a lot of things, okay? On your test, on the test, you will get a periodic table that looks like this. It does not have charges on it. So if you want a separate copy of the periodic table to write charges on and then one without charges, feel free to grab yourself 2 copies so that you can sort of work your way from I have charges written on it to I can do it without the charges written on it. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. And hopefully, at this point, you already know that column 1 forms ions with a plus 1. Column 2 is plus 2. Column 3 is plus 3 because it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Then when we go over here, we have this little section, this little staircase. And guess what? There's 1, 2, 3. So these are plus 1, 2, and 3. Where are our minus 1, 2, 3s? Where would I find those? 17, 16, 15, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay? If you need to write them on there for now, you can do it for now, but maybe do it in pencil so you can erase it as you go along. Or like I said, you can get yourself another one. This area in here, it's colored gray on yours, but it's colored red here. And that also includes the lanthanides and actinides. Those are the multivalent metals that require a Roman numeral, and those won't be on quiz number 1. Okay, so we'll make our way there. Only the red zone or the gray zone as it is on yours. And the reason I call it the red zone is because R for red, R for Roman numerals. So if you want to get like a red pen and like box it in red or something like that, you could certainly do it. The red zone. In fact, if anyone wants a red pencil crayon, here, would like to have one. Get rid of these because they don't really. Oh, okay. So that's your periodic table, and that's going to be really handy. Yes? Second thing we come across is our common polyatomic ions. That's one of the handouts that you picked out, the one that says FMD on it. Okay. It's in your book, but it's also in there. And there's a whole list of them. They are listed alphabetically. However, what you'll see is that because they're listed alphabetically by name, sometimes things which are related to one another are not right beside each other. Do you see how we have ClO, ClO2, ClO3, and ClO4, and they're scattered a little bit? Yes? And they're scattered a little bit because their names all start with different letters. Okay? So just be aware that although it's alphabetical by name, sometimes you need to look a little harder. Okay? That's it. Oh, another thing here, you get to choose a name. You either get to name this ion hydrogen carbonate, or you get to name it bicarbonate. There used to be a comma in between them, and I would have people calling it like sodium hydrogen carbonate bicarbonate. And I'd be like, okay, no, pick one name or the other. So I've made sure I put ors in there instead. Acids, when you're doing the acid section, which is later in the book, there's a whole bunch of ions that we are going to use that are not really as common. And so this one, they're organized alphabetically. And then they are organized by charge. So you can see here, this one, we do have the ClOs, the ClO, ClO2, ClO3, ClO4 are all together. So it's really easy to sort of find them there. Okay. Oh, and look, if you're into this kind of thing, you'll be able to see some patterns. You've got hypochlorite has no subscript there, ClO. Hypobromite has no subscript there, BRO. Hypoiodite has no subscript there. All right, and then we have, so if you're into finding patterns, you can find patterns. I'm not going to stress on that right now. We can look at it more in depth later, but if you're into that kind of thing, look for patterns. Yes. No, you do not need to memorize them. You will be given these charts. Okay? So on a test, you will have any and all of these that you need. Okay? Here is a list of acids. This is just kind of for your own reference. For my grade 9s, I'll let them like just be able to look up the acid. You guys need to be able to name acids. Okay? You can't just look them up. But if you're like, okay, I'm really not sure, I've read the rules and I'm not getting it, you can check in here. Okay? You will not have this on the test. No, there's rules. Just like there's rules for naming covalent compounds and ionic compounds, there's rules for naming acids, and I will teach you those. Okay, so but this is like, oh, I don't remember, and you can look it up. Okay. Here we have a nice little flow chart. So if you get to the end of the unit and you're like, how do I write formulas? There's a summary. Yeah. How do I name compounds? There's a summary. Okay, so this is on page 6. We're not going to do that yet, though, because we're just going to start with one kind, and then we'll add in more and more. There's another flow chart. So just so you're aware, you can keep going back to that beginning of your section of your book to see if there's like things that are useful to you. Yes? There's like a little summary of how to write formulas, right? So reference material. Hopefully it will be useful to you. And we are going to start with naming binary ionic compounds. This is quiz number 1, and it could not possibly be any easier. You can take it today, and you will probably be ready to take it even before I have finished going through this. First thing we need to know, though, is the word binary means 2 elements. Okay, so we have a binary ionic compound is made of only 2 elements, so it will not contain any polyatomic ions. Okay? Don't forget, when you have an ionic compound, it looks like this. What is this structure called? That is our ionic crystal lattice. And ionic compounds, of course, are made from a metal and a non-metal. What happens to the name of a metal when it turns into an ion? So if I have aluminum, Al, that's aluminum. What happens when we have Al3+? Its name? Aluminum. Yes? And if you wanted to, you could write like ion, right? To show us that it's an ion. No, because if you say to me an aluminum ion, I'm like, oh yeah, that's 3+. Right? Because if you've done it for, 5, 10 years, 35 years, you'll just know it. At this point, I don't expect you to just know anything. What just happened here? This is exciting. Where did it what? Oh, what's happening? Oh, oh, okay, okay. Well, you know what? I mean, the thing is, you'll just learn it over time. You won't be studying in your room learning this. You'll just be like, oh, I just know it because I've been in chemistry class for 2 years, right? Oh, okay. I'm going to close this and open it again and see if that helps. Actually, you know what? I should be able to write right on the PDF itself. So let's do that. Okay. So all you have to do in order to name these, what happens to the name of a negative ion? It gets "-ide", so it's sodium chloride. And does oxygen become oxygenide or oxide? Does nitrogen become nitrogen or nitrogide or nitride? Nitride. Phosphorus, phosphoride or phosphide? Phosphide. Hydrogen, hydrogide or hydride? Hydride. Okay. First syllable, 1, 2. Yes. So you will be able to practice, should you so desire, and then write the quiz. But before we do that, I'm actually going to show you the second one as well, because these are binary. This is for quiz number 2. These are binary covalent compounds. So this is on page 12. That's okay. I know what that word means. I've heard it before, once or twice. Page 12. Shh. Binary compounds are made from how many elements? 2, not 2 or more, just 2. Covalent bonds form when elements do what with their electrons? Share. They share electrons in order to get a full shell of 8 electrons, or 2 for hydrogen, which is a very stable arrangement for the electrons. Between what types of elements do covalent bonds form? What? Non-metal and non-metal. When elements bond covalently, they mostly form, what do we call those little clusters of atoms which are bonded covalently? What? Huh? When elements bond covalently, they mostly form, what do we call those things? Covalent bonds, but I want to know the name of the particle. Molecules. There are two names for compounds made of only nonmetals. They are either called covalent compounds, or what's the other name? Molecular. And just as a reminder, when all the atoms in a molecule are all the same, we have a molecule of an element. When there are different types of atoms in a molecule, we have a molecule of a compound. In this document, we're just going to be naming compounds because we all know how to name elements. You just look it up and write the name, right? Easy peasy. Okay. It's very similar to writing ionic compounds in that the first word, you don't change the name. The second word, you do change the name. What do you change the name to? Ide. Okay? So for ionic compounds, we would have calcium fluoride, copper 2 fluoride. When we have a covalent compound, we also change the ending, and you can see we have carbon dioxide, we have phosphorus hexafluoride, diphosphorus hexafluoride. So those ides are the same, but what's different about the covalent compounds compared with the ionic compounds? All these extra little bits and bobs, right? There's dies, there's hexas, okay? Can you guess what di means? Di means 2. What does hexa mean? 6. So the straightforward thing about this is that you know a lot of these prefixes already as long as you know your polygons. So like do you know your pentagon? What comes after a pentagon? Hexagon. And then 7, sometimes people don't know it's a heptagon. Okay, hepta. And it's written down later on, so we'll write that. And then what's 8? Octa, 9. Sometimes it's troublesome. Nonna. Nonna. Like nano, but reversed. Okay, nonna. Hepta. 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 And then 10 is deca. So, okay, so hang on. So let's take a look at these. We have 2 oxygen atoms in silicon dioxide. We have 1 oxygen atom because there's no substitute in carbon monoxide. We have 4 chlorine atoms in tetrachloride, 5 oxygens in pentoxide, 1 sulfur in monosulfide, and 5 sulfurs in pentasulfide. You will get a chart to start with, but then you need to memorize it. Okay? No, you need to memorize it for the quiz. Okay? Now, hang on. Oh, no, document. Now, let's take a look at this. Before you get too excited about memorizing them, there are some differences here because if you look, there is one silicon, right? And there's no prefix here. Oh, look at that. There is one carbon and there's no prefix. There's one iodine and there is no prefix. However, if you look, there was one oxygen and we did have a prefix. There was one sulfur and we did have a prefix. When do we use mono? When it's the second one. Only the second one takes mono. The first one doesn't take mono. Okay? Something else to notice though, we have two phosphorus and it is diphosphide. So do we leave off a di on the first one? Because it's greater than one. It's only the mono that only goes on the second word. All the others are used all the time. So di, tri, tri. Now the last thing I'd like you to notice about this, monoxide versus monosulfide. Why do you think it's different? Yeah, it just sounds really weird. Monoxide sounds weird, plus it also looks kind of like monoxide, which is just really, really strange. Okay, so we actually drop O's and A's in front of oxide. Just in front of oxide, not in front of all vowels. And we don't drop I's in front of oxides. So it's not going to be trioxide is trioxide, not troxide. Okay, so we drop the O and A before oxide. Only oxide, nobody else. Only O and A, not I. Yes. That's a really good question. And the answer is that none of them are negative because they're all sharing electrons, so everybody is neutral. Okay? Because nobody's giving electrons, nobody's taking them, they're just sharing, so they maintain a neutral charge. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So on this page here, we have a question. So what are the prefixes meaning one? What's the prefix meaning one? Mono. 2, di. 3, tri. 4, tetra. Okay, so usually I'm going to put a star beside the ones that people usually have problems with, like mono, di, tri, usually are good. People often have problems with tetra. I don't know how to help you with that. Okay, actually I know 2 ways, but most of them are not useful to anyone. They're useful to me because I know that a juice box is called a Tetra Pak, and a juice box has 4 sides. But you probably don't know that a juice box is called a Tetra Pak, so that will not help you. I also know that if you play the game Tetris, all the shapes have 4 squares. So if you play Tetris, that might help you remember. But if you don't know what a juice box is called and you don't play Tetris, then neither of those are going to help you and you just need to learn it. Okay? What is 5? Penta. 6. Hexa. 7, hepta, 8, octa, 9 is nona, not nano. Okay, I do get people, they're like, nano, because we learned nano, but it's not nano. And then 10 is deca. Now I have to be honest with you. You're going to look at the compounds that are in here and you're going to try to make a Lewis structure in your head and you're going to be like, that doesn't work. And to be honest with you, a lot of these compounds in here are just made up to have you practice the different prefixes. They are not real compounds. If you were to try to draw a Lewis structure for many of these, you would fail absolutely. You would not be able to do it, okay? So I apologize for that, but otherwise you would never get to practice hepta, right? Because there's not actually very many compounds that contain 7 of something, yeah? Now, which prefixes behave differently when they're in front of oxygen or oxide? Out of all of these, does mono change? Mono just becomes mon. What's the next one? Tetra becomes tetr. Penta becomes pent. Hexa becomes hex. Hepta becomes hept. Octa becomes oct. Nona becomes non. And deca becomes dec. I don't think we need to answer this question because we just did it. We dropped the vowel. Drop the vowel. The prefixes that drop a vowel all end in the letters what? A or O. Which other prefixes could you predict would drop their final vowel? We already did that. Never mind. Blah. Okay. What prefix do you use when you have one of the second element? Mono. What prefix do you use when you have one of the first element? You don't. There's no, we not use none. Don't use it. Are there any other prefixes that are not used when they're put on the first element? Any other? Any others that are not used on the first element? Nope. The second element will always have a prefix. The first element will always have a prefix unless the prefix would be mono, in which case leave it off. So here is just a little chart that gives you everything here. You can just refer to it if you need to. There's a few things like don't drop any I's, right? Dioxide is not doxide. Trioxygen is not troxide. Don't drop anything in front of other vowels other than O. So it's tetraiodide, not tetraiodide. Okay, no, not monoiodide, it's monoiodide. And pentaiodide. Okay. And there's some practice for you. So you now have in your toolbox everything to do quiz 1 and quiz 2. And I think that's all I'm going to teach you today, because any time that you have left over, you could use to practice Lewis structure. Sorry, what's up? Yeah, so it'll be like calcium. Yeah. There will be polyatomic ions. Yeah. So quizzes are behind. Yes, you go to 1A. which is quiz 1 version A. And you could take a quiz 1 version A. Then 1B is going to be a retake. So you don't want a 1B unless you're retaking. You would go to 2A for the next quiz, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, B is it's the same difficulty, just different compounds. Okay? No. Yeah. You can use a table for this, periodic table, yes. Yes. There we go. All right. And I will take off half marks for spelling because you have a periodic table in front of you. Stuart. There you go. Yeah. You wrote like, I don't even know it. I thought it said mural too. I know you know. Huh?
Are we allowed to look at it or not?
You can look at the periodic table. Yes, please use your periodic table. You are not expected to memorize it even a little bit. Okay? Why don't you just get a periodic table? Oh my God. Thank you. You could go to the. Lauren. There you go. Christina. I know, it's like, what if there's no waiting, if there's nobody in line, it's like super fast. No, fine, your choice. Yeah, doesn't matter. You can leave test 2 for next day, that's fine, because you might want some time to memorize your prefixes, right? Yeah. But you should do the practice work for it, okay? You don't need to do them. If you want to do them for practice, you can. Yep. Thank you. Yay, thank you, Jacob. There you go. Thank you, Evan.
You didn't get any papers or I guess sheets
Which sheets?
for the I guess mini test today.
The little quiz? Okay, so you're gonna go to the back and Nathan's gonna show you which quiz to take. Nathan, show John which quiz to take. Yay. Thank you. Yeah. Yay. 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 There we are. Thank you. Yay. Hello, thank you. Yeah, you might as well because it'll be marked right now.
Thank you.
Hi.
Yes. I don't know about online. I don't know how that works. I think it's just offered all year long. Yeah. But I'm teaching chemistry 12 next semester. No, I'm not. I'm teaching chemistry 11. Yeah. I'm sorry because I was going to be like, you have to be in my class, but then I'm not teaching it, so yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. But there will be like in-person chemistry 12. You can fit it into your schedule. That's the only issue, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that sounds like a good plan. Chemistry 12 is not easy to do online. Like it's a bit of a brute. Yeah. So, and the other thing to realize is that you can always upgrade, like, you know, at wherever you're going. Often you can be like, okay, I'm going to take my chemistry 12 course at a college or whatever as well. Is also a possibility. Yeah. So lots of different choices. Chloe. Yay! What did you do? What did you do? Uh-huh. Yeah, of course you can. Thank you. Not if you don't want to. You can like take some time to memorize those prefixes and stuff because that might take a little time. Yeah. So folks, you can feel free to do quiz B or quiz 2 next day if you want to take some time to memorize your prefixes, right? If you feel ready today, you can do it today. That's fine. But either way is fine. You can just tack it on to your Lewis structure quiz. Yeah, yeah. You can do quizzes in Flex. Yeah, show up in Flex. There we go. Angela. Oh, it should be tetraiodide. Yeah. Hello. You only drop letters before oxygen. That's right. So that would be
So just those little weird exceptions. So mono always on the second, but not on the first. And drop O's and A's before oxide.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Hi. Hi.
Iodine, and you're using like di or tri, would
You
just
don't
use
drop
one?
anything. Just
Okay,
keep it.
so it's only for oxygen.
Only for oxygen.
Alright,
Yeah. It's 6 questions every time, just different compounds. You just forgot the ide.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to see how this one for this
Yeah.
is. It's just a blind test before I do a retest, probably. Oh.
So mono goes on the second
Oh,
word
yeah.
always. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, because I forgot about some of the rules, but then I was like, might as well take it to see where I'm at right now.
Okay, so spelling,
The spelling.
and then drop the A before the O.
Okay.
Phosphorus.
Yeah.
It's just OR.
Okay.
And then mono always goes on the
Okay.
second word, but not the first word. There
I'll
you
try
go.
to study and get the
Yeah.
second test better.
Hi. It's always just the first syllable. First syllable and then ide. Syllable. And bull. Then ide. So it would be, it's always like phosphide, not phosphoride.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Yeah. So similarly, like we didn't have nitrogide, we had nitride. Yeah. Okay? But yeah, there you go. Hello. All right. There's no Roman numerals. Nothing's in the red zone. Go fix that and come back. I know. You know what? That's why you can do it a million times, right? Hi.
Wait, does it matter if it's like capitalized or not?
No, doesn't matter.
Does the mark change if I like?
Huh?
Does the mark?
Yeah. See, now you have a 6. Wasn't that easy? You get to take this. I don't want it. Yeah.
You were here first.
Uh-oh. These are ionic, no prefixes.
What?
Grab the wrong one.
I grabbed the wrong one.
No, she didn't. This is
Oh,
one.
wait.
This is 1A.
Oh.
Ionic compounds, so metal plus non-metal, don't use prefixes. Oops. I won't even record that one. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Okay, Evan, I want you to go and check number 2 because it's like the stupidest thing you just did.
Oh,
I don't know. You forgot an N or something. There we go. Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh my.
I know, right? And I guarantee you there's always going to be a fluoride because I want everybody to be able to spell it.
Bro,
There
I
you
can't
go.
spell.
Did I write the nitrog?
Yeah, nitroge.
Nitroge?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
There you go. So just that first word doesn't change.
Nitrogen. Oh my gosh, man. You're actually great. Alright. Dab me up. Oh, that's so nice.
Okay.
Hepta. Oh, I'm
Ah. Hello.
If I make like mistake one more time, I only want to choice.
Oh, yay! Okay, then.
I'm just gonna check. I got this.
Let's check it this time. Oh, this looks so much better. Okay.
I think I was thinking something else with the numerals.
That's just a spelling thing.
I see.
Okay. And it's only because you actually have it in front of you so you can copy it. Yeah, so no big deal. John, here we are. Yay, Angela. There we go. Hello. Okay. Hello. Yay. There you go. Nice. You forgot to change it to I'd.
Oh my
You remembered
God.
all the other ones.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Focus on this one.
I know, right?
Yeah. Hopefully this one's better.
Okay.
I went kind of crazy there.
You did.
I crossed it out.
You were right this time.
Yeah, but then I read this one. And
It was this
I got
one.
confused because I thought this was the second one.
And there's no commas. Why are there commas?
No, I did lines to like separate them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So like I'd remember which one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Awesome. This should all be one word, but I'll give it to you. Okay.
Okay. So I'll just make sure it's one word.
Yeah, and don't put like a capital letter in the middle of a word. Just like in English, no capital letters in the middle of the words. Okay. Iodide. And so yeah, so that's a 5 because that was the only one that was really wrong. The rest of them are just like capitalization. Oh well, we got better. There we are. All right, and then hold on.
No.
I'm so sorry. What is the element that's C?
Oh my.
Yeah. Hi. Yay!
That's the only one I wasn't sure about.
Here we go. Yay! Amy Jung, where is she? There she is. There we go. Excellent. Let's see. There you go. Micah Lau. Hello. And just no capitals in the middle of the word.
Okay.
Just like in regular English, right? Yeah. I won't take off any marks for it though. All right. Drop the A before the oxide.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. All then in.
You're talking capitals. What does capital mean?
Capital?
In the middle.
Oh, a capital letter is like, this is a capital?
Yeah, I know what
Oh, okay.
you got one.
Oh, it was just because like when you write trioxide, you don't write trioxide. You just, that should be like a little O.
Oh,
Trioxide,
okay, yeah.
Lithium fluoride, silver sulfide, potassium iodide, calcium phosphide, barium oxide, aluminum nitride. I'm being kind on you with the spelling because I know that English is not your first language.
But I got wrong. No, don't worry, it's okay.
Okay. Fluoride. Okay. Fluoride, and I think that's the only one actually. I think the rest, well, I don't know what this says. Like I don't know what that is. It should be iodide.
Yeah, iodide.
So technically that's a 5. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Spencer, question for you.
Yes.
Metalloid and metalloid.
You can just leave them here. If there's a lineup, you don't have to wait.
Metalloid and metalloid are
Covalent.
okay. Covalent, and then this
Metalloid and non-metal covalent.
and then this is
Metal and metalloid is ionic.
Or that. Sorry, that word.
Yeah.
And then so and then if it is ionic, you use no prefixes whatsoever. No.
If it's ionic, no prefixes. Yeah.
No, what do I put? Nothing.
Just like lithium fluoride.
So I keep the ending.
The ide, just the ide.
And so if there's subscripts, nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Folks, I will post on Teams. Shh. You know your big Lewis.strut worksheets? I'll post on Teams the ones that you're responsible for the quiz on Monday. There's a couple of the groups that we didn't learn how to do, so I'll make sure that you know which ones. I know, right? I'll have these back for you for next day. Okay? Yeah, it's fine. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, I've got a stack.
I forgot the last one.
I know, right? Thank you.
I already checked it, so I'm not heading over there. And I have more ones. I forgot number 10. Also, no, I don't know. My brain's like, I know. I'm thinking, I don't know, I thought Coca-Cola, and I took a Coca.
You're welcome. See you.
I checked spelling this time. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with
All
this.
right, very good. I will just hold on to these, okay? Yeah. Oh, you don't need, I don't need those ones. You can keep those.
Yeah.
You what? Well, I don't know yet. I'm just taking these ones with me.
No, me too.
Yeah. Have you done quiz number 1? Have you done quiz number 1? And I haven't, oh, it's here though, right? Okay, never mind. We're good. We're good. We're good. Bye. Charlene, I don't have a quiz from you. Can you come and do it Monday during Flex?
I want to do it.
Perfect. That sounds good. Come Monday during Flex. Yeah, no worries. All good. I just want to make sure you don't fall behind. Okay? It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. The first quiz is really easy. All you do is change the ending of the second word to "ide." That's it. So practice over the weekend. Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry. Yeah. 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 See ya. Hi.
I just forgot one of the two.
Okay.
She's 7.
Oh, 7.
I can't remember.
Okay. What's your second language that you like? Have you taken Spanish or French or?
I do Mandarin.
You did Mandarin. Well, that doesn't help. I'm sorry. Hepta.
Oh, okay.
Hepta. Yeah. Okay. Sure. But I can't give you credit for it because you don't remember it on your own. But yeah. Okay. So I'll have that for you for next day. Okay. Cool.
I didn't get any work done, but I get so mad on her, so I feel bad.
Okay, yeah, I can tell you were like, who was talking to you about the requirements?
We were talking about assignment for psychology, and I started talking
Right.
When you guys finish it back,
Yeah.
I thought she wants to retire in 5 years.
Yeah.
It's like,
I want to retire in 3.5 days.
you guys are planning like a mass exodus.
Oh, yeah. We would go now.
4 work blocks.
Because there's so much.
There's so many people who are just done.
It's not anything to do with you guys. Like, this is the part that we love. It's the whole. It's like admin, it's like after our staff meeting, like an hour and a half, and I think there was like one actual piece of information. Right? And like, so I'm getting up at 4 in the morning, so I do my laundry.
But Central was on it before. Yeah, I want to go back to the year. The year's fun. It would make classes like this really serious. You haven't experienced what you're going on. Okay, so the thing is what the key side of every other day, and then I don't ever talk to you in flex time because of that's the annoying part. I'm not gonna have to. No, you're like not watching it. What, to get that? What do you mean? How bad is your quality? Circuit. Oh, you're talking about how good someone's going to be able to do this. Very easy for you to miss. Oh.
Okay.